This review video is a bit different. I like to catalogue all aspects of the venue, but it was so difficult here as it was so dark in there. I was also very close to leaving before the gig even started, as there was no wheelchair space allocated for me. For a newly renovated venue there are issues, but it's still accessible. Let me explain. NX Newcastle is the former O2 Academy, which underwent a well-needed £2.7 million revamp before reopening in September 2022. We didn't make our first visit though until May 2024, so I was confident that they would have overcome any teething problems and the venue would be running like clockwork. Details about access were a bit brief on their website, but it's obviously something they had considered, so I had booked my ticket and registered for access, a wheelchair space and a companion ticket. As you head towards the venue, there are steps up to the main door. Head over to your left hand side and around the barrier to join the queue marked Guest List and Accessible Tickets. Staff were on hand to check your name against the accessible list and we got entry before the main doors were opened. This was when we spotted the first design fault, large glass doors that open outwards. Great in some sense but difficult to manoeuvre around. Just inside the doors is the security check area and the lift. The lift is very small with only enough room for one wheelchair and one companion. As you exit the lift, you're near the accessible toilet. At this point you realise how dark it is. The whole main room is very dimly lit and it's so hard to find your way around and very hard to film. From the lift you are straight out into the back of the main room, with the merch desk, a bar and a spacious accessible area, which is roped off and manned by a member of staff. Also worth mentioning is the bottom edge of the balcony is very low and reduces your view of the stage. The accessible area consists of high stools with backs which I can imagine some access customers will struggle getting onto. Despite a capacity of 2,000, the room only has 2 wheelchair spaces, which are reserved for the first 2 applicants, but they are again roped off. I wasn't told this when I booked. I requested a wheelchair space and was put on the access list, but the access staff directed me to an accessible area and I physically couldn't see over the front of the area from my chair, so asked if there was anywhere else I could go. Right, total clarity here. The staff were brilliant and did all they could to help me, but I think there should be more space allocated for wheelchair users or more clarity when you book. An option I was given was one of the 2 upholstered booths at the front of the room, just to the sides of the stage, or the same booths just in front of the accessible area. The sides of the booths are very high and from a seated position there is no way the stage is visible. There is a lift to get access to the main floor, so I went down to try one of the booths near the front. The booths are great, with a table in the middle, but once the crowd filled up I wouldn't be able to see over everyone, or get out if I needed to. While we were debating what to do, a member of the security staff on the barrier made a suggestion. He suggested I could sit at the end of the barrier, uninterrupted view. There would be some staff there throughout and there's a fire door close by. The staff could also radio their supervisor to get me out of the lift if I needed the toilet. Perfect solution for me. I doubt it would be possible if it was a sold out event, but on this occasion I was quite happy. People around me were great, keeping an eye out for me and shielding me. I was very grateful that the staff was so helpful. I got in touch with the venue the following day to thank them for their help and point out the issues. I also offered to advise them on how they could improve. They said they would look into making improvements, but the conversation went no further than that. I've not been back since, but I've booked something to go back again soon and see what, if any, improvements have been made.